everybody? It's your boy Gsluke here for our round 4 prize picks targets for this year's PGA Championship. We've got the last day of the promo, the hardest challenge to hit as well, so going to talk about that, but also our top 5 props here for the final round. It was another kind of so-so day. We're at a 2-2-1 record, so not what we're looking for, but a few interesting scenarios here for Sunday, one of which has already passed at this point, but one that I was able to take advantage of, and of course, the whole promo scenario to talk about. So we're going to do some research, talk about round 3, the promo, and of course, how I'm attacking it here for round 4. So with all of that, let's get into it. Already on the screen, you can see data golf. So just to get an idea of round 3, so we can do some research here for our next round. And it played to plus 2.5, which is very similar to what we had there on Friday, which was a plus 2.6. Even what we saw for Thursday, which was plus 2.8. So on the surface, not really much to look into there. But if we split it by wave, take a look at the guys that played in the morning versus the afternoon, you can see it was about a shot difference. In fact, almost a 1.2 shot difference. The reason for that was the rain. In the morning, there was a light drizzle for much of the morning wave. There was also quite a few wind gusts that were coming through and right around 9 to 10 a.m., but for the rest of the day was relatively stagnant, and because all of that rain came through, you were dealing with a much more receptive golf course. And for Sunday, a lot of that moisture will still be in the area. Of course, it'll be humid because of a lot of those storms and really low wind gusts. So if we take a look at it, there's a few wind gusts towards the 8, 9 a.m., but after those early storms come through, just mid-20s down to the teens in the afternoon in terms of wind gusts. And if you take a look at the sustained winds, isn't much to speak of either, right? Just 10 to 15 miles an hour in the morning, and while it's a little bit more substantial, 13 to 14 miles an hour in the afternoon wave, it is nothing compared to what we've seen here for the first 3 rounds. So in terms of the scoring average, I'd expect it to play even easier than what we saw in the afternoon wave today, where it played to plus 1.92. I could see it playing to something closer to plus 1.5, maybe even plus 1.4 or 3. It's going to be by far the most gettable day, but we still are going to have those Sunday pin locations. So it's going to be a risk-reward type of round where if players are going and being aggressive, they're going to open themselves to plenty of risk, but of course at the same time also giving themselves plenty of opportunities to go out there and make birdies. So with that in mind, let's first off talk about the promo. So with the promo, it is day 4, which means you need to win 30 on any of your props. And what I would recommend for a lot of you out there is first off, enter a bunch of cards. If you're entering 5 or 6 cards, at least $10 on every single one, you're going to hit for over $30, right? You can be confident in that unless it goes, horribly the wrong way. You should be good to go, but if you're just looking to get by on the challenge rate, not have to worry about it, just use the hedge method, which would be to take 2 props that have a 0.5 on it. So you can go over here to birdies or better, just take any 2 of these birdie or better props at the top. Just take 4 cards. So you enter a $10 card 4 times with the same 2 props, but take the 2 overs on one that's an over and an under, one that's an under and an over, and then one that's 2 unders. Now, the one caveat is that the one that's 2 unders, you're going to need to enter it for $13.34. Doing so gives you a 2.25x value, so you have to enter a little bit more money because it's not a 3x card. That's just one of the intricacies that we have with golf, right? It's one of those correlations where if you take all overs or all unders, you either get a boost, a little bit of a minus to your payout there, and the 2 unders is a minus. So that's why you have to do that. It's $43.34, and you're going to end up winning $30 no matter what, right? So you're going to lose $13.34 and end up hitting for the promo. So that would be my recommendation for everyone out there that's looking to go ahead and just lock in the promo. Now, if you're looking to just make cards, right, enter 5 to 6 of them for tomorrow. Here's some of my favorite props that I have. So first and foremost, let's start with greens in regulation, where a lot of the players are here at 11, and frankly, with easy conditions, especially lower winds, should still be extremely receptive because of a lot of that moisture and storms that have come through. I love the guys like Justin Thomas or a John Rahm that are elite of the elite level players that are priced among guys like Amito Pereira, right? Max Homa, who's a a solid iron player, but he's not an elite iron player by any means. Abraham Ancer, also just an above average iron player. Why not target these guys like JT and Rahm that really have nothing to lose, right? And while they might not be as engaged as somebody like a Mito Pereira, Will Zalatoris, that's up there and squarely in contention, they also have nowhere near the same amount of pressure on them. Those type of players are a once-in-a-lifetime type of opportunity, whereas especially somebody like a Jon Rahm, who's starting relatively, right around 10, 11 a.m., isn't going to be worrying about winning this golf tournament. In fact, he's probably just going out there playing freely, and I expect him to have a pretty solid round here. So, like going to both of those players in terms of an over at birdie or better. Sorry, not birdie better. Greens regulation. Sorry, misspoke there. Which means that they have 7 to work with, right? If they end up missing 7, that's a push. Anything 6 or better in terms of missed greens is going to be a hit for us. Next, we have a strokes prop, so heading over the other way for Jordan Spieth at 72 strokes, and he's somebody who today was number 2 in the field in shots gained approach, which, of course, if you're not familiar with that, that's how good that you're hitting your irons. He was number 2 out of the entire field, and he was number 78 out of 79 players that made the cut when it came to shots gained putting, which is usually his specialty. I mean, if you talk about Jordan Spieth, you think of him in the record books, you think of him as being one of the best putters of all time. In fact, one of the streakiest and hottest putters that you can see on the PGA Tour and that we've ever seen, period. I think ever on the PGA Tour. I think a lot of people would share that sentiment. So to see him have such a bad round yesterday, but to be hitting the ball so well, and he's been driving the ball beautifully for the entire week as well, means that he has a ton of upside. In fact, he still ended up having a pretty decent round there in the +3 range. So I like him there at 72 strokes. Of course, a 2 over round would end up being a push, but with easier conditions, right, that is just going to play even more into his skill set. So somebody that I'm really confident in taking the under on. And also, I think he has the around the green play we're looking for, right? With strokes, you're worried about guys bleeding strokes around the green, making a few sloppy bogeys from time to time and kind of ruining you there. Jordan Spieth, one of the best players with his short game that we've ever seen to go along with that super hot putter. And now lastly, our 2 quote-unquote fades. And I love this new category, birdies are better matchup, because we can quote-unquote fade players, but really without having to, right? And this, it's not like we're taking over or under based on strokes. It's just choosing the player that we expect to make more birdies. And because all of them are just 0.0 today, there's no 0.5s or anything where you have to worry about pushing with someone and actually losing. In this case, a push is actually a true push. So the 2 guys that we're fading are the guys at the top of the leaderboard, Mito Pereira and Matt Fitzpatrick, both of which have a clear and commanding lead over the rest of the field. In fact, whoever goes out there and ends up just surviving tomorrow is likely to go out there and win this golf tournament. And as a result, I expect Matt Fitzpatrick and Mito Pereira to be extremely conservative, to not go out there really trying to put their, gas pedal down to the metal, not be extremely aggressive, because they don't have to. Frankly, like I said, if they shoot even par tomorrow, I could very well take home their first major championship. So their competitors, Davis Riley, also Lucas Herbert, also up there towards the top of the leaderboard, right? I believe both of them are at -1 right now. I believe Davis Riley actually might be a little bit further back the board. But in either circumstance, right, towards the middle of the pack, and if they go out there and shoot something like 4 to 5 under par tomorrow, they could put themselves in the top 5, potentially even top 3 of the golf tournament come the end. And that would be huge for the rest of their careers, for a lot of their status, FedEx Cup points, all that sort of fun stuff. So expect them to be extremely dialed in, extremely focused on going out there and being aggressive, right? They also don't have a lot to lose, right? Going from 20th to 40th in the rankings isn't really going to change your week, right? But going from 25th to 3rd or 4th place is going to be huge for these players, particularly guys like a Davis Riley and Lucas Herbert, who are so young and have so much to prove on the PGA Tour. So I'm taking the under on Matt Fitzpatrick and Mito Pereira, so I can go ahead and target guys like a Lucas Herbert and Davis Riley. And something to mention here as well is that Davis Riley and Lucas Herbert are among the league leaders when it comes to birdie or better percentage. So already aggressive players that we can expect to go out there and fight for our dollar. All right, that's all I've got here for round 4. One thing I'll say is that there was a little bit of a surprise. We got Rory McIlroy at 11 fairways, which was a mistake, obviously, on the board. He was there at 11 and at 9 fairways, so I slammed the under. In fact, I ended up depositing a lot of money onto the site, ended up doing a lot of power plays, a lot of the other props that I took, the props that we gave here in the video, and let's just say if he ends up hitting under 11 fairways, which, I'd put it like a 95% hit rate, it's going to be a good day for us tomorrow. So I already have that working for us, almost a free square that we had out there. Hopefully you guys were able to jump on that. If you were, it was only up there for about an hour at a time. But as per usual, make sure you comment down below your favorite prop on the board. Make sure you smash the like button before you hop out of here. And also make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of the content to come. We're going to have even more videos dropping for the rest of the PGA Tour schedule, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And best of luck here for round 4.